Don't dilute yourself. Be your own concentrated possibility. I'm Adele Deasy, and it's my absolute pleasure to be talking with you today. Do you know what happens if you dilute yourself? You will forever be holding yourself back. You won't make the most of who you are. And you're missing out on great adventures and opportunities. Diluting yourself is a habit. The worst bit about this habit, you don't even know you're doing it. My talk today comes in two halves: how and why we dilute ourselves, and what we can do about it. When applications for this event were advertised on social media, I was so excited. I knew that it was something I would really love to do. Within 2 hours of seeing the post, I read comments that tagged in other people, recommended other speakers, and I doubted that I was eligible to even think I could apply to be a TEDx speaker. Same thing happened when I was called for audition. Beyond natural nerves, I started to tell myself all the other speakers would be better than me and their talks would be more interesting. I wonder how many people listened to their doubts, diluted themselves, and didn't apply. What a shame. Let me explain to you what I mean by concentrated and diluted. Your concentrated self has been formed from your childhood right through to this point today. Your personal characteristics, your beliefs, your strengths that you've spent a lifetime developing all go together to make you your very best version of you, your own concentrated possibility. I'd like to encourage you today to recognize your concentrated self. Value it. Don't dilute it. Your diluted self is when you put yourself down, you downplay your achievements, you make yourself seem less, actually often to help other people seem more. You point out your supposed flaws, narrate the negative, ultimately share your own self-doubt with the world. Let me give you an example. Don't you think it's curious? When we arrive on time for a meeting, other people are in the room when we get there. First thing we say when we walk in, "Sorry, I'm late." You weren't late. Don't tell people you were late. You're great at timekeeping. You just weren't the first to arrive. You have your own strong, capable version of you. Why would you want to dilute that? I think there are 3 reasons why. The first, imposter syndrome. 70% of people, men and women, experience this feeling of not being capable, of being found out as a fraud, not knowing as much as they think they should know. According to research by NatWest, 60% of women who applied never started their own business because of imposter syndrome alone. Imposter syndrome's real. It can affect us every single day. But if we believe those doubts as truths, we halve our concentrated possibility. Second reason we dilute ourselves is to fit in. We narrate to friends and colleagues how we're never going to be able to stick to that healthy eating plan or that exercise routine that we've started. When we're given praise, we downplay it, often putting things down to luck or chance. How How do you react when someone throws you a compliment? I hear you ran a 5K. That was incredible. Oh, thanks. I didn't run it very fast. Congratulations on that promotion. They probably couldn't find anyone else to do the job. When we pass an exam, we gain a qualification. We've worked hard. We've revised hard. We are so pleased with our result. And then we hear ourselves telling people, we don't know how we did it. It must have been fluke. Even worse than that, the examiner must have made a mistake. That friendly banter, downplaying your achievements, makes you less threatening to others. You think that helps you to fit in. The third reason is the influence of others. I like to call these people the ankle grabbers. They hold on to your ankle for just long enough that you can't get ahead of where they are. They can convince you not to take that voluntary job at work, telling you it's not the right time at all. They can mock a skill that you've got in public. Definitely makes you think twice before you share your organisational skills to friends again. Or sometimes they can just ask you to be less. I was taken to one side by a colleague, a line manager in a previous role. They said to me, at the next department meeting, I would like you to have less ideas. I'd like you to be less creative. They then went on to say, if I felt the need to have an idea, could I throw in some bad ones? Turns out someone else on the team was feeling like they couldn't keep up. That was the solution. That was it. That was my moment. That was my critical moment when I decided I wasn't going to dilute myself for anyone else. Instead of that, I was going to motivate other people. I was going to encourage them, support them, help them to see their own strengths. Other people feeling threatened because of your success says more about them than it does about you. You don't have to dilute yourself for anyone. So why is it so easy to do it? Why is it so easy to dilute ourselves? Well, I think it's because motivation is such a flaky driver. In his research, McClelland gave us a model of an iceberg to demonstrate that our motivational factors lay deep beneath our surface. Motivation is complex, heavily influenced by our upbringing, by our peers, by the prejudice and expectation of people around us. If you find your motivation to have a go at something, run with it. Listen to your doubts. Then box them. If you've found your motivational factor, get excited about that path it's going to take you down. Let me tell you something about Sheryl Sandberg. She was the COO of Facebook, was one of the most influential businesswomen in the Silicon Valley for over a decade. Her book, Lean In, sold over 4 million copies. In that book, Sandberg tells us that ultimately we want to be liked. Now, if being successful means people don't like you, how hard is it then to find the motivation to develop? Sandberg admits herself that she downplayed many accomplishments at work through fear of it being a turn-off for other people. In 2011, she was 5th on the Forbes list of the most powerful women. This put her above Michelle Obama. She felt awkward. She felt embarrassed. She started to tell people she thought the list was ridiculous. She was taken to one side by a colleague to be shown the irony of how she was reacting publicly to such an amazing achievement. There it is again, diluting ourselves for others, diluting ourselves to be less, downplaying our achievements to fit in. Don't you think it's curious how quickly we listen to friends and colleagues who tell us not to apply for that new job? We found the motivation to give it a go, and the first thing we do is go and seek the approval of others, who very rarely approve. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Well, it's not you, it's me, and I want to give it a go. All of these reasons to dilute ourselves come from both within us and external triggers. But the problem is, our diluted self is not our best self. And our diluted self forever is telling you, you can't. So enough of that, right? Let's be more you. Let's get more concentrated. Let's find some solutions. The next time someone says to you, you're too ambitious, you're too organised, you're too positive, see that 2 as times 2. Yes, I am. I'm double concentrated. Throw them a smile, knowing that they've recognised your double concentrated strength. Can we do this every day? Is this too hard to be concentrated all the time? Well, I think habits are hard to break, but knowing when you're doing them is a really good place to start. Have you heard yourself say, I don't mean to be stupid, but can I just ask? I know I'm being annoying, but I just needed to say, you're neither annoying nor stupid. Just ask the question, thank the person for their response. How about being humble? Does that fit alongside being concentrated? A resounding yes, it does. Giving other people compliments without comparing them to your made-up inadequacies. Annalise, you are amazing at organising events. I don't need to say, I'd never be able to do that. Emma, I love your creativity. Miss out the part that says, I haven't got a creative bone in my body. 3 instant results to being concentrated. Your concentrated self can motivate others. Your concentrated self can give other people a hand up. Your concentrated self can have big dreams and can take other people along with you. So here's your top tips. 5 top tips to stay concentrated. Number 1, change your internal and your external script. See those doubts for what they are. They're thoughts. They are not truths. And stop telling everybody else all the things you think you fail at. Number 2, when you're given praise, say, thank you. That's it, thank you. Look the person in the eye, thank you. Number 3, celebrate your achievements. Stop putting them down. Number 4, when you want to have a go at something, share with people what it is you're trying to achieve. Don't ask for their permission to start. And when opportunities like this come along, take them. No matter how it turns out, you're going to be more concentrated as a result. So the next time you tell yourself you're a fraud, reject it. Laugh at it. See it for what it is. A big bucket of water waiting on that door frame, waiting to drench you and dilute you as you walk through. Do you know what? We're not going through the door that says dilution. We're going through the door that says concentrated. Don't dilute yourself. Be your own concentrated possibility. Thank you.